Pistons Live is presented by Cure Auto Insurance. He was smooth with it when they needed it. Cade Cunningham didn't have a monster night scoring the basketball, but late he did what he does. And that's play great clutch basketball, a little up and under double clutch as the Pistons hang on 99-98. Cade Cunningham standing by with Natalie Kerwin.
Cade, 27 lead changes in this one. Can you just explain how this fourth quarter came together, especially in these last 3 minutes for you guys to pull this off?
Yeah, tough game. A lot of back and forth. We couldn't really find our groove the whole game. I don't think they really could either. It was just a choppy game. But, our system, took over in the end. We finally got some stops. Got out in transition and ran. You got to win.
For you specifically, these last 3 minutes, you had some huge buckets. There was one where you drove through basically every Atlanta defender and got right to the basket. It was insane. Can you just take us what goes through your mind when you know you need to come up with some huge clutch plays in those moments?
Just trusting my work, trusting, my Lord, trusting my faith. And my teammates trust me with the ball. So, that's my time to go out there and do something with it. I have been, shaky the last couple of games in the end of the game, so I knew I had to come up big. It was a tight game. Really needed this game, so glad I come through for my team.
How tough was it to combat their zone defense?
It just takes movement. It takes us, moving the ball, playing together, hopping the ball around, and then we get what we want. I think there was a couple times we were just a little stagnant, didn't pass the ball enough. So it'll take some more learning. Coach talks about it all the time, so we just got to execute.
The bench was huge. Ron Holland specifically with his hustle plays. How do you describe that guy?
He's hard to describe. He's a dog through and through. The loose ball, there's 5 people that had their hands on the ball, and somehow Ron comes out with it. He's young, he's skinny, but, he just finds a way, So I could talk about him all day. He's somebody that everybody wants to play with. We love having him on the team, and he should probably get the belt tonight. I don't know who's going to get the belt, but I'll probably say him.
All right. Well, you go in the locker room and find out for it.
I will, for sure.
Right.
Appreciate it.
Cade Cunningham, thank you. This guy, Johnny Kane, unbelievable. Finding a way to come through for this team. I'll send it to you guys for postgame.
Yeah, terrific, really. down the stretch for Cade. Again, you hear George mention on the call, nobody scores more fourth quarter points than Cade. But,
That's right.
He was sitting on 9 or 11 points through a half, through 3. And then they did such a good job bottling him up. But here's the rub. Because guess what? It's clutch time. And you're like, okay, Deuce, go to work. And obviously his 8 points in the fourth quarter. That was big time. We'll make him our Cure Auto player of the game. But just, again, you don't necessarily have to score 40. But when you score in spots when you need them, that's value.
Impactful scoring is what he did in the fourth quarter, but it didn't start off that way. Not only for Cade, but the entire team, Atlanta Hawks included, everybody struggled to gain a rhythm to shoot the basketball. It was nip and tuck throughout the game. I said this at the very beginning, Johnny. These teams are a lot alike in a lot of the statistical categories, and I thought it would be very close until the fourth quarter where somebody would have to be special, and that special person was Cade Cunningham. But he got it going with this defense early, and what I liked about what he was doing, he didn't hang his head because the offense wasn't going. He tried to find other ways to impact the game and generate some offense. And then when it became winning time, he was very, very intentional about, hey, I'm getting the ball to my spot, and I'm going to shoot over the smaller defenders. And precisely that's exactly what happened. When you have a guy that understands his value on the team and that his teammates are looking to him to make something happen, either for himself or his teammates, then he delivers. Cade Cunningham was special in those last 3, 4, 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, as he has been in every game this season. That's why he leads the NBA in fourth quarter scoring.
Yeah, and the 3 blocks, obviously, big time today. He's got great size, obviously, as a guard, but tonight, obviously, everybody was involved in rim protection. We'll get to the defense here in a second, but this is part of defense. You heard Cade talking about Ron Holland.
Yep.
I know we get to see it, night in, night out, but tonight had his fingerprints all over it tonight. And as Cade says, he'll probably get the championship belt because of just the energy that he brought, but the production that he brought. Sometimes it felt like I wouldn't say they were necessarily getting to a lull, but it was like they were just unable to kind of break through. And then all of a sudden, here comes Holland flying from the sky, making plays. And obviously, a big part of the win tonight.
Well, what a nice luxury for Coach Bickerstaff to have when you have a team on the floor not developing any type of rhythm offensively to score the ball. Insert Ron Holland. He's going to make something happen, whether with his defense to generate offense. He's going to come up with a steal. You saw him come out of the crowd. Cade Cunningham mentioned that there were 4 or 5 players on the floor. Somehow Ron comes away with the ball, scores it, and gets the foul. Free ball he got to go down. He was just everywhere tonight. He was impactful in limited minutes with what he did with his energy. We've said this from the very beginning. Ron Holland, because of his energy, gets on the floor. What's going to happen? Sometimes we never know. But more times than not, it's going to be something impactful that's going to help the team win. And that's exactly, again, Johnny, what happened tonight. He stepped in when the team was in a lull as far as shooting or scoring.
Yeah.
He came in and just manufactured some buckets.
He was relentless, man. 17 points in 17 minutes. Greg Kelser calls that a point a minute guy. So Ron was part of this, but the defense creating offense, these will be our Xfinity highlights because, to your point, these teams do mimic one another. They do like to turn you over. Obviously, Pistons kicked it all over the gym tonight, but they were able to do that to Atlanta. In particular, late in the game, they threw it away a couple of times. The Pistons were able to stretch that thing out where you started to feel comfortable until they hit a couple of late threes. But to the point, their defense tonight by Detroit, I thought very good. You can win most nights the way they play defense.
Well, that's one of the things that concerned me coming into this ball game. The Pistons and their high turnovers as of late would play right into the hands of the Atlanta Hawks. But the Pistons were able to overcome, even though they had a hefty amount of turnovers, they were able to overcome it because they out-rebounded the Atlanta Hawks. They had 60 rebounds, the Pistons did, to 40-plus rebounds by the Atlanta Hawks. That's where the game was won. Never mind the turnovers. Again, the Pistons were able to overcome that with solid rebounding and great defense. You hear me say this all the time. You control the glass. You control the game. Secondly, the defensive possession is not over until you secure the rebound or the ball. And the Pistons did a fine job of that on so many possessions, especially in the fourth quarter, that kept the Atlanta Hawks at bay. It was the defense, the rebounding, all of those things played a major part in the victory tonight.
And one other guy I want to highlight before we hear from Coach Bickerstaff, it was Jalen Duren. Again, missed the game in Miami, dealing with kind of a left leg issue. Comes in tonight, double-double for JD. He's a man amongst boys most night. I understand Atlanta doesn't have all of its length that they normally would without Kristaps Porzingis in there. But, you know, in talking with Quinn Snyder before the game, he said, you know, look, we can't allow them just to throw it into Jalen Duren, have him dunk it all night. And it's like, well, that happened a couple of times, you know what I mean? But I thought Duren, in our Buick GMC Pro Vision, again, owned the painted area tonight, effective double-double.
You know what's impressed me so far this season about Jalen Duren? That he has accepted his role of being one of the leaders of this ball club. And when I say accepted your role, that means that you have to be ready to perform night in and night out. You can't have those nights off where you don't play well. He comes in and gives you everything that he has, and he's been very productive in that role. So I like how he's matured and accepting that he's one of the key guys. This team is going to go, and they're going to need him to be at the top of his game most nights. And he has accepted that challenge. And listen, he is going to be one of those guys that we're going to talk about in Piston lore for a very long time. Very young in age, still getting his feet wet in the NBA.
Yeah.
But believe me, he is a man near the basket throughout the NBA that is feared when he gets the ball. Now, we've seen early on in this ball game. Now he's able to put the ball and improve his position by putting the ball on the floor, getting to a better position, closer to the basket. Once he continues to do that and develop maybe a 15 to 17-foot jump shot, I'm not necessarily saying he's got to shoot the three, but if he can get out to that pick and pop 16 to 17-foot range, he becomes almost unstoppable.
Yeah, well, his feet are wet right now, wet with paint. That's where he's living right now. Those are our Xfinity highlights. Let's go inside. We'll hear from head coach JB Bickerstaff after the Pistons win a narrow one here tonight by 1.
JB, throughout this game, it felt like no team could, really take off, but those final 4 minutes, was really when it started to feel like you guys could start to push out to a run. What did you see in those final 4 minutes?
I thought we were great defensively. There was a couple breakdowns late where we gave up a 3, but, for the most part, I thought our defense triggered it. We were active with our hands, forced turnovers, got out in transition, created some easy opportunities for ourselves. And again, that's the tell of this team. You know what I mean? Like when called upon, we have the ability to get stops.
And for Cade Cunningham, obviously for him, the clutch gene is just part of his DNA as well. For him to turn it on after the way they were defending him all game in the fourth quarter, can you just tell us what you saw from him?
Yeah, I think he's developed an understanding and a belief, in, the timing and rhythm of when. And, again, time and time again, he does the job when we need him to do it most. And I think, he embraces that role, and he loves to do it for us.
Hey, Coach, can you speak on how big Ron Holland was for you guys tonight?
Yeah, he was unbelievable. He was the spark for us. We struggled tonight. We did. We struggled tonight. But I thought Ron gave us, a ton of energy, fire, the way he just competed. I thought he was phenomenal tonight.
Past just the defensive end, would you kind of like as far as the versatility that closing lineup offered?
I mean, it's big. It's athletic. It's versatile. It's switchable. It's got rim protection. It's got guys who can guard one-on-one. It's got guys who can create a little bit of mayhem and come up with deflections and steals and allow us to get in transition. It's a good group, has the ability to be a great defensive group.
After a 138 to 135 win, what do you learn about your team when you can win on a night when you don't get to 100?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just got to win ugly. And I think that's the tell of, good teams in this league is, it might not be your night, but can you figure out a way to get it done? And again, tonight wasn't our night. We didn't play, to the best of our abilities. But we competed hard enough to give ourselves a chance. And then we were there in the moment, and we had guys make plays for us.
Coach, with Duncan out, you had Danis step in there as a starter. Just over the past couple of weeks, how has he kind of earned the trust of yourself, this coaching staff, to be able to go out there any night and be a starter?
Well, I didn't expect him to go 0-for-8, I'll tell you that much. But no, he has. And this isn't just a one-time thing for him. This is Danis putting in work since he's been in our organization. And you guys that follow him or follow Motor City and then his summer league, everyone could see the work that he was putting in and how he developed. And he's just extremely mature and intelligent and thinks the game. And, by doing those things, you earn, your coach's trust, but your teammates most importantly.
Hey, winning ugly, still winning, There's Danis Jenkins and Coach Bickerstaff. Nice win for the guys here as they make it now 2 in a row. Ron Holland, what a night for the youngster, 17 points. We'll hear from him on the other side of this break. You're watching Pistons Live. Time now for FanDuel's thrilling play. Let's set the stage. 2-point game, final 20 seconds of the ball game. Blitz is coming from Cade Cunningham. He knows it. We knew it. Atlanta knew it. Splits the defenders. Takes it right up and under. A 4-point margin for the Pistons from that point on.
Let's give them 5.
Beauty, huh?
Let's give them 5 for degree of difficulty.
There you go. I was going to say, let's check with the judge from Romulus, who says yes. But that was a big-time shot. Obviously, Pistons able to hold on because Atlanta hit a couple of deep threes to make it close. But a reminder, you can roll up to the mansion with a bonus. New players get 500 bonus spins to play on Huff and Puff Money Mansion. Plus, you can get up to $1,000 back on any first-day net loss. Well, we saw Cade rolling into the arena tonight on that motorized cart.
I heard they turned around and went and picked you up after you dropped them off. Is that true?
I think they're going to take Ron Holland all the way back to his crib with it tonight after the effort he played with. Let's go inside and hear from Ron Holland.
Hey, Ron, Coach just said sometimes you just have to flat out win ugly.
Yeah.
That's how he described it.
That's the story of us right now.
How do you feel your defense as a whole with, as a team came in the fourth and, won this one ugly?
Yeah. I honestly feel like the way that we hang our hat on defense, it definitely says a lot about us. But when we're really up and we really want to guard from first quarter to the end, I feel like it's really hard to deal with us. But it's going to be nights like this. But I feel like what I'm most proud of is all of us to stay together throughout all this. There's going to be adversity throughout games. And the fact that we're able to stay together and pull out wins like this shows the growth that we've had over the last year. And I think we took a big step tonight, even though it didn't look the best. The fact that we got this win, it means a lot to us.
The group really feeds off of your energy.
Mm-hmm.
How conscious are you of that spark?
I'm very conscious of it. It's like a saying every time I step, my name is called, just make plays, 5. And that's one thing that I'm kind of really listening to because, I don't need to score to have a good game. I don't need to do the things that show up on the stat sheet for me to have a good game. And I feel like that's one thing that I've noticed about myself and that I really have that pushes this team to have success.
Yeah, Ron, kind of expand on that. Look at your patience and your adaptability. I mean, going back to the summer league, there were moments where you need to, shoot maybe 15, 20 times. But now in moments like this, again, it can be maybe just a possession of defense or just little hustle plays. Kind of talk about that adaptability with yourself and the team in moments like these to get a win.
I've definitely adapted to it. Like you said, with summer league, it was more so me, Bobby, all of our show. But just I know I was trying to work on habits on playing with guys like Cade, Jalen Duran, everybody, just knowing what I'm going to be able to do with them guys. And then, like I said, I come to the game doing whatever it takes. So like you said, whether it's me going there winning a possession of defense, whether it's me shooting a corner three, anything, I'm ready for it, and I'm ready to go out there and do whatever it takes.
And Ron, what's the mindset of the team? When you go out there and you shoot under 20% from behind the arc, but your team is still able to go out there and just grit this thing out.
Obviously we want shots to fall, but with us, like I said at the beginning of this interview, we don't hang our hat on offense. We hang our hat on defense, and we know eventually if our offense is bad, it'll get going eventually. So we don't really take note of that. We don't really worry about that because we know shots are going to fall eventually. So
I'll tell you what, I like being around Ron Holland a ton. Obviously, you love what he brings to the floor, but he's very measured for being a young man in this game. But he says the right things. He goes out and operates the right way. Just beautiful to watch, and as he's going to continue to grow. And when he's surrounded by guys, like the Asar Thompsons and Jalen Durans and Isaiah Stewart, where you take that pride in the defensive end of the floor, that's only going to help with his maturation. Speaking of which, I do believe Jalen Durans is now standing by inside the Pistons locker room.
JB said sometimes you just have to win ugly. Yeah. That's how he described it. How do you see this win? Do you see it the same way? And how did your defense close this one out in the fourth?
Yeah, I see it the same way. I think the good teams win the ugly ones. I think our defense stepped up. I think Stu stepped up big, as he always does. Took the matchup. I think the last 5 minutes he took the matchup and just, got it done. So we did what we do.
So Ron's been a spark on defense all season long, but when he gets to have a night like this where he does on the offensive end too, how much does that mean to you guys as a team?
It just shows our depth. He's a guy who is, still finding himself in the league, still finding his niche, but he comes in, bringing energy every night, whether it's on the defense end, whether it be on offense, cutting, getting to the basket, guarding the best guard on the other team. He's amazing. He's been great for us all season, and I'm excited to see his growth.
Along those same lines, how big was LeVert for you guys tonight?
Vert, he's always great for us. I think Vert, since he got here, has been a solid vet for us. A guy who he could trust with the ball in his hands, every decision he makes. Just a guy to take the pressure off Cade, and get us into whatever we need to do. So Vert, he's been great for us.
You guys have had 20 turnovers 3 games in a row. Kind of, what do you chalk the turnover issues up to? And it hadn't been an issue. Is there anything different that's added to that? Or?
Yeah, I think being too loose with the ball. I definitely contributed to that. Just being too loose with the ball, trying to make winning plays too early, not being decisive, just things like that. Things that we could clean up easily. Things that we gotta be on top of. Because 20 turnovers is hard to win. It's hard to beat anybody with 20 turnovers. So that's something that I didn't take it today. I don't know if we got close to that today, but hopefully not.
Anything in particular that goes into fixing that? Is there anything you guys do in practice, or is that
locking in? Understanding, take care of the ball. I don't think it's a matter of guys not being able to handle the ball or nothing like that. It's not like a skill thing. I think it's more as a mindset thing. Take care of the fucking ball. Bro, don't make the home run play. Don't, just play smart. I think that's all it is.
Take care of the ball. Apologize for any language you may have heard. 22 turnovers for the Pistons tonight, but they overcome it. They improved to 17-4 overall. Now 3 games clear in the East. We'll look ahead to Wednesday night's matchup. 99-98 here at home. Handshakes and high fives. Now it is on to Milwaukee for a game against the Bucks on Wednesday. Bucks coming off a tight one, a narrow loss tonight against the Washington Wizards. But anytime you're facing Giannis Antetokounmpo, who they did not see the first time they faced Milwaukee, you got your hands full.
No doubt about it. One of the best players in the NBA. He's a seasoned veteran, now a champion. So as you mentioned, Johnny, if he's on the floor, it gives the Milwaukee Bucks an outstanding chance at winning. Let's face it, though, the way the Pistons are playing as a solid unit, they're ready to face any opponent at this point and let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, Milwaukee falls to 9-13 on this season, but to be Wednesday night, at Fiserv Forum. So be ready for it. All right, Pistons now have started another little win streak. They went 13-2 in the month of November. They start out December 1-0. They've got a 2-game streak heading into Milwaukee. We will see you again on Wednesday. You've been watching Pistons Live presented by Cure Auto Insurance. And coming up right after postgame, be sure to stick around. An encore presentation of Golic and Golic. 2-time Super Bowl champion Phil Simms joins the show to talk all things NFL right here on FanDuel Sports Network after the show.
Good night, Romulus.